Unip kaakotiaqsigikpin. Taalaqanilaqannasuk unip kaaqtuaq qaaviuraqama. Niviaqsiaqarualuguuq iñuuniaqaniqsuq angayoqaagamani. Sumitaimma. Niviaqsiaqarualuk anguniallatuneqsaq. Aasiisuraqallavluni supayaanik. Iñuuniaqoting anuqqautigaisi. Anuqulingaallaaqsuq. Anuqulingaallaaqpaalluni. Kisaimma panernialiaqsiput. Niviaqsiaqarualuk kisaimma isummerpoq. Tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaasumman anuqlisuuruqumagaan. Summan anuqulingaallaaqamagaan. Tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaasumman anuqlisuuruqumagaan. Anuquliqpaalluni suniuraqanaitsoqunni. Tavrani viaqsiaqarualuk ayuungitsoq. Payyaguniuliqsoq. Tuqutaawayaqtuq kisimriumi. Arraannapqangapiaqtuq. Qulirringaitsoq iñugunun teriganniaqaqanivligu. Teriganniaqtaamna allatun ingitsoq.
When I was growing up, my grandpa had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble. They pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in a way. When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let it. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
Kangersingarok supayaat ikayok tekakane biluwit. Allawlo na dam na terigan niya. Siwoniksip ka nga nibeak siya karolog. Nibeak siya karolog, kangersingarok. Supayaat allawlo na dam na terigan niya. Siwoniksip ka nga nibeak siya karolog. Kanudun pekpaganak tilang at tamat ko, ikayok tauruat. Nibeak siya karolog, kangersingarok. Supayaat ikayok tekakane biluwit. Siwoniksip ka nga nibeak siya karolog. Kanudun pekpaganak tilang at tamat ko, ikayok tauruat.
Silya is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the nuna, or the land. And it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Silya.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Silya. Silya has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there is a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
Niviaqsiaqalualuгulu teriganniaqalu ikayuuti piaqtuk. Siqaqaliortimigini. Araa kangeqsinaitsoqunni qanuq pisilaangak. Aglaan tavra atautsikun aingaluk. Iveaksiakarolu tikitka aimahpini. Agalan malunak singamalok. Inyokolok tikin ngamalok iveaksiakarolu pingan. Ibahalak simalok sumitema. Dikatsak kumanyain yaksok. Pakit kangam nago. Ibaktani. Nunakik iki waktu ako naksok. Inyong ay tukot-taktawan naksit. Iveaksiakarolu ukperingit ka tautuktani. Tautukunak tuak sunapaya sikumingan naksok. Iveaksiakarolu inyuliakatingi pisaulaga naksut. Kano ko niya? Ano ko lakpaskanyam dahil na kumanyait ka? Tamanga ikumawak tomin. Kakalakpam inyo liptaktok. Sumalagula kami ni Beaksiakarulu pitiningani. Agalan kakalak paskanyat sa gabing aityut. Imenyawrat sa gabing sa mga nunamin. Agalan kakalak paskanyat sa gabing aityut. Imenyawrat sa gabing sa mga nunamin. Ay gwen tuting. Pukalagtok inyugungaruak ukpik. Kano ko ilisimanak pa nga. Isumulagtok ni Beaksiakarolu. Kano kita pura kau nagingagikpen. Hilaw di ka piup ko. Ikayo ko niya kalorik pinkimon dahil nanakik sa bakit ilanga.
In the winter, when we were traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuyak. We'd do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuyak. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continued to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubarg. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and his sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, my father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a totally different kind. We're in ecological time.
Drum is something that's common to all cultures in Alaska. All cultures have a drum that may have some stylistic differences or differences in the materials that it's made, but it's still in recognition of life and vitality, and the drum mirrors the heartbeat. And when you continue drumming soon, it will be in line with your heartbeat, because that's what it's supposed to be, the heartbeat of the community, and it symbolizes vitality. And it's the most tremendous feeling to be in a room and to have one long row of all the drummers, and to have that feeling of unity and everyone beating in harmony, the drum beat in unison. It's the most beautiful feeling. And to know that you're connected, you're on the land that you are connected to. And even if you grew up outside of the community, that which is in you comes from this area. And it's the greatest feeling.
Man, I went at it and look what happens. Oh.
They're just like other people. They just happen to be very small and extremely strong.
These are stories that are common throughout Alaska. It's normally that people are in a size from your elbow to the tips of your fingers, and they possess superhuman strength. So they may be tiny, but they can carry a whole caribou.
And if you go up north and you talk to a number of the people in the community, they'll talk about having seen the little people.
There's a place at home that we know, but we don't profess it to anybody.
But it's not like the boogeyman.
They can be mischievous, they can be ornery, or they can be helpers.
And every now and then, we might have the opportunity to see them, especially if they want us to see them.
The fact that it's across Alaska really tells you something about our history and how we interacted with nature around us.
Kilya rock dort, die werkschere lo praktik. Asi ane bliting suna idukto sa umagan. Ibeak siya karolo. Sabat ako may akalawit. Imaynyaw rat. Bakit ka upiyong kailaw tinga? Ibeak siya karolo kutingarok kilaw tiligaho ni. Upik ko bea tiyapalungarok. Asi tabura pibit takiliw di bea langaga. Ibeak siya karolo. Dahil nahuni ay tiyudi hirakangarok. Upik ukalak to. Uvaw na kao nagingagiga. Iligin nun pikit ko bulago.
The bola is what we call kilamitang. And the kilamitang is made out of braided sinew tied out to some heavy bone which you could twirl. In my case, we're catching ducks.
When we're out whaling, sometimes the ducks start flying. And they're good for duck hunting. You know, if you're a whaling crew, you can't make too much noise. So you can't use a shotgun for getting some ducks who handy, you know. So bolo was a really handy weapon to use for catching ducks. You know, the ducks fly in, you throw it up and tangles up the bird, and down they go. Dobra time na igilehotik. Libeak siya rolong ato ka upim achuta. Sila tane lunakingata inyuhuluk kasuak. Inyuhulum taudu kameo nutkakawa. Agalan ni veak siyagarwaluk sa perinaksimarok. Nalif sapi aktok taudu kameo kilamitaw. Tapura ivaktani taudu kay. Nalif sapi aktok taudu kameo kilamitaw. Tapura ivaktani taudu kay. Nalif sapi aktok taudu kameo kilamitaw. Tapura ivaktani taudu kay. Nalif sapi aktok taudu kameo kilamitaw. Tapura ivaktani taudu kay. Annap khaslik kalwaktuk agalan igilawninga sikakalaksisinyaktuk. Malakogone ovulogone wishaublutik.
The scaredest I've ever been, I was 12 years old. We floated out on a piece of ice while we were duck hunting. It was a bluebird day, just clear blue skies. And there was 3 of us, myself, my brother, and my dad. Next thing you know, we see this dark shadow on the ice. We look and it goes behind us. So we all jumped up, startled, and my dad, he started running. We got back to the ridge there. The ice had fractured, cracked, and broke off, and we were floating away. We were drifting. It was close enough to where my dad would have made it. He stopped and he thought about throwing us across, and if one of us was on the other side, we would be split up. So he stopped, and he just so happened to have a cell phone on him. 911 didn't pick up. That's the worst feeling in the world right there. 911 did not pick up. So he left a message because they record their calls. Once he had relayed that information, his cell phone died. That was the scariest moment I've ever had in my life. We were floating away and I thought we were left for dead. He kept calm during this situation. He's bringing out everything positive in this case. You know, I'm crying, my brother's freaking out. It went from clear blue to dense fog. Within a couple hours, we heard the chopper flying around, so they must have gotten our message. We thought we were saved, and then the chopper sound went away. So we lit some of the sled on fire. It's plastic. We thought black smoke in the fog would create some kind of marker. Chopper pilot had mentioned when we got rescued, you could see a glow in the fog, and he slowed down there, and sure enough, as soon as he slowed down, we got within visual. That was definitely the scariest moment of my life, was floating away and not knowing what the outcome was going to be.
Dabra tuvagaroa mo tikitjuk. Agalan tuavit pagabitjuk. Siku nalunak tok kanok igilaganayak silanga. Sisaso ko mea kalugon nanok anak kubit. Pinatitaka video. Kakame nanok dikatsalaycho.
We're very much aware of the climate change. And it's been for many years, even before climatologists were noticing this change, Inuit were already saying, Sila alangoktok. Our climate is changing.
If the heat is going the way it is right now, for us it's going to be pretty bad. Different birds are coming, and they're coming earlier, and sometimes rain is more than what we want. Because when there's more rain, we know it's going to melt the permafrost.
In my time as a young whaler, when I was 9 years old, we're hunting from ice that was about 25 feet thick. And there was giant icebergs already floating, coming by. That was the first signs of a changing climate. Ice that never broke before was now moving. Now, here it is 50 years later, we're hunting whale from ice that's 18 inches thick. There's no more thick ice.
It's creating a malfunction in our whaling season is what it is. Actually, more than that, all seasons in general.
I think we are more scientists than more people will realize. We have more knowledge of those things than people will ever know.
Agalan naman na Allah. Lanusok kanubayak.
My brother was out seal hunting. He got attacked from behind and managed to grab his knife and save himself. When he came to realize, oh no, it's a mother. We've always known traditionally that we avoid killing a mother. It's always been sacred to us to protect them. He had to present himself to the council, and so he was given the job to mother the baby, and we kept it. It got so big, it went over the barricade one day and got to the dog food, and that was an indication that, brother better go teach it how to survive on its own. So he did. I really got attached to the bear because I more or less grew up with it. And some days when brother took him walking, once in a great while he'd put me on the bear and I would ride on it like a horse. I was just happiest little girl in the world.